Hey everybody, we have a lot to get through today, so I'm just going to cut to the chase and start right now. There's a cat meowing. Sorry about that. So, what I want you guys to do right now is you could pause this video if you want. You don't really have to because you don't have to hand it in. But I want you to take about a minute and list as many emotions as you can. You could list them on your phone, in your head, on a piece of paper, but I just want you to take a minute and list as many emotions as you can. So you could pause now and you could do that. You do not have to hand this in. Okay, so you might have thought about happiness, anger, sadness, and anxiousness, nervousness, all sorts of emotions. I mean, there's really countless. And that's what we're going to be talking about in chapter 13, section 4. Okay. So, emotions are basically just states of feeling, how we're feeling at the moment. They have biological, cognitive, and behavioral components. So it's a bunch of different things kind of put into one emotion. So we have joy, oh gosh, accepted, aware, angry, fearful, I believe that is. I can't read these, but you get the idea. So when we're talking emotions, it goes all the way back to when you're a baby. You are born with emotions. And after studies, 3-month-old babies could show curiosity, they could show joy, they could show anger, which actually surprised me. They could show surprise and fear. They could experience, a full range of human emotions pretty much as soon as they're born. Happiness is the emotion that people tend to think of first when thinking of emotions. It's the one that people most want to experience, of course, happiness. And happy people, when surveyed, they think that the world is a happier, safer place than it really is. They make decisions more readily and easily. They're not as indecisive. They report greater satisfaction with their lives, and they're more likely to help others. So, anger is kind of the opposite of happiness, unless you're thinking sadness. Anger is when you're just mad at someone, and usually it is directed at someone close to you. So, there are different ways to handle anger. Some are good ways to handle anger, and some are bad ways to handle anger. Being hostile and aggressive is a more negative way to handle your angry feelings. You should be more assertive and talk about the situation than go in with guns blazing and, screaming and yelling. Or you could go for a jog or do kickboxing or something. What do you guys do when you're angry and you need to kind of blow off some steam? Okay, so facial expressions are inborn. That means that we're born with them in order to express emotions. We don't learn these. And this is across all cultures. If you go to the United States, if you go to South Africa, if you go to Russia, if you go to South Korea, all the facial expressions convey the same emotions. So you guys are actually going to watch this video. I'm not going to play it now because the audio won't pick up, even though there really isn't any audio. And I want you to watch this video and I want you to try to recognize the different emotions. It's a very quick video. It's like 2 minutes. So I want you to watch it and try to recognize the different emotions and see if you get them right. So we're going to be talking about these 5 theories of emotion. We're going to kind of go through them pretty quick. And I will break down each one as best as I can. So the opponent process theory basically says that emotions often come in pairs, so 2 emotions, with one emotion being followed by its opposite. When balance is upset, the opposite emotion responds to restore balance. So, this opponent process theory is focused mostly on balance. Kind of think of a scale where there are two sides. One side can't be higher than the other. You have to have a balance. So, if you're feeling anxiety, it could be replaced with relief. Conversely, if you're feeling relieved and calm, anxiety would replace that. This is just a theory, remember. There are caveats to these theories, which is why they're theories. They're just theories. So if you don't agree with some of these, that's okay. So the common sense approach is when a person interprets a situation and in the interpretation triggers body sensations that signal emotion, and then that triggers a behavior. So that's a real handful or mouthful, should I say. So basically, um, let's give an example because that's the kind of the best way to frame these. So for example, I'm walking down the street, minding my own business, and I see my boyfriend, let's say, with another girl. This is hypothetical. Okay, I'm just making up a scenario. So I'm interpreting that situation as my boyfriend cheating on me. That interpretation triggers a body sensation. So my heart will start racing, my pulse will increase, I might even start sweating, things like that, body sensations. And then that triggers your emotion. So, what this is saying is that the person interprets the situation using their brain and their body responds in kind. And then the emotion comes. Then I could be upset, sad, angry, and then that emotion triggers a behavior. So I walk up and I yell at my boyfriend or cry. Okay? So this common sense approach basically says that thoughts, feelings, and behavior are all intertwined. Our perception of situations, our emotion about those perceptions, and the behavior in, that we do conduct, they are all kind of connected. Okay, so the James Lange theory, very original name, by William James and Carl G. Lange, believed that behavior comes first, followed by an emotion that fits that behavior. This is a really interesting theory because usually you think that emotions come first and then behavior comes after, like you're feeling sad and then you cry. But in this theory, they posit that you cry first or you feel the urge to cry first and then you experience the emotions. So, for example, you jump out of the way of a moving truck and then you panic. Your brain doesn't have time to process the emotions before it could act. So, it acts first and then it thinks. So, threat in this case can cause two responses: fighting or fleeing, or fight or flight. That's the fight or flight response. And this theory suggests that you could change your feelings by changing behavior. So if you choose to change your behavior, you can change your feelings. So the way you react to things could change your feelings in kind. Okay, the Cannon-Bard theory, another original name. Emotions accompany the bodily responses that are aroused by an external stimulus. So this is simultaneous. Whereas the James Lange theory, the behavior comes first and then the emotion. In the Cannon-Bard theory, they say that these two things happen at the exact same time. So your emotions happen just as your body is responding, the exact same time. Situation triggers an external stimulus that is processed by the brain. Brain then stimulates bodily changes and cognitive activity simultaneously. So you take in your surroundings, you take in your stimulus, and then your brain kind of creates a thought or an emotion as well as a behavior at the same exact time. The theory of cognitive appraisal. I believe this is the last one, is it? Yes, the last one. So, the theory of cognitive appraisal states that the way people label an emotion depends largely on their cognitive appraisal of the situation. This is very subjective, which means that it varies from person to person. So, cognitive appraisal depends on factors such as response of others around you. Now, this brings into question reliability and validity. Since there are, billions of people on Earth, we all have different ways of interpreting situations, and also different results are happening when these situations are repeated. So you don't get the same result twice, or I suppose you can, but not always. Okay, so what you might have noticed is that you agreed with some of the theories, you disagreed with some of the theories, or you wanted to take bits and pieces of each one and kind of put them into like a big, like, master theory. So, what you should get from this is that no one theory of emotion applies to all people in all situations. Some of these theories might apply to you, some of these theories might not apply to you. The ones that don't apply to you may apply to me. So, just like in other things in psychology, emotion is highly, highly, highly subjective. There is no wrong way, there is no right way. Everyone feels different things at different times during different situations. Everyone behaves differently. So, these theories, whereas they try to explain emotion in humans, you can't have like a one size fits all. So just know that, you know, not any of these theories, none of these theories apply to every single person for every single situation. Okay? So, what I want you to do is page 316, 1 and 2. I am going to post that for you since you don't have the textbooks. I will make sure that I post that for you. Okay? So, make sure that you watch that video that I'm going to be posting with um, the expressions, the facial expressions. I'm really curious to see if you get them all because I did it in my last class with everyone present and I would pause it after the facial expression, and some people actually got them wrong. So if you'd like to share, please do so, and I will see you on the next one.